right, good luck. Yeah, thanks for everything, Mark. You bet. If we're having major limitations on funding for parks such as this, and we have people going to the extent of taking their bicycle across the country, you know, sleeping on roadsides and campgrounds for months at a time, it deserves some scrutiny.
That's part of it. I think the other part of it is having citizen involvement to foster new ideas and change the status quo. That's got to come from some leadership, though, of somebody's got to organize the people and the groups and the politicians. Because, you know, frankly, I think the issue is many of our people that serve on these committees, they themselves don't use these facilities. They're not partakers of the environment that some of the people are. So for them to come out here and identify with what's wrong, it isn't going to happen.
If they had Clodophyra on their beaches in Manitowoc and Sturgeon Bay and Egg Harbor and Bailey's Harbor and Port Washington like you have here, it would be a public uproar.
So in Manitowoc, I would do much better for our Great Lake if I was able to spend city taxpayer dollars outside of our city where the real runoff is occurring, and that would have a more dramatic impact.
But we all can make a difference as citizens, you know, and that's where, you know, it isn't just a state senator or a state government or a county board supervisor that's going to determine the future quality of Lake Michigan. And there's so many simple things that all of us can do.
It's 11,000 miles of coastline here on the Great Lakes, which makes up more coastline than the east and west coast of the U.S. combined.
Fortunately, most of our landowners are trying to do the right thing.
You've got to approach this from a standpoint of training these guys, certifying and permitting them to do this sort of work, and then if there's a spill, they lose their permit, they're out of a job.
The only thing that it seems at this point that we can control is the amount of phosphorus.
We can't do anything about the water clarity. We can't do anything about the rocky shoreline, which is what Clodophyra likes to grow on, but we can cut the phosphorus going into the lake.
I think that they need to raise their hand and say, we're a part of this problem and we're going to work on the problem.
If you just tell someone this is what you got to do and not give them any explanation to why they have to do that it's going to make them more money, that it's more environmentally beneficial, they aren't going to buy into this program. You can make everything look pretty on paper, but unless they truly believe in it, you're not going to get the benefit from it.
But anytime you see liquid manure being spread, and even if you're not real sure if it looks like it's actually going into the watershed, i.e. the stream, get some videos, get some pictures, call up the Soil and Water and get them out there. That's what you can do as a resident of any county.
I'd like to think I'd inspire younger people to get more active in the outdoors and become aware. Because I mean, if they become involved, they care more, and they take care of the environment better.
But it's getting off the computer and interconnecting with the true lifestyle of the beach.
What would help and would be of no economic detraction to anybody would be training people and certifying people who are actually out doing the spreading to get them to not do this sort of reckless manure spreading in the first place.
In the big waves that Lake Michigan can produce, and Lake Michigan can produce waves in excess of 24 feet several times a year. It's one of the most treacherous bodies of water in the world.
Well, Manitowoc is intrinsically tied to Lake Michigan. I mean, throughout our entire history with shipbuilding and fishing, right now with the Lake Michigan car ferry being a big part of our economy, it just is very, very, very important for us to take care of our water. That's an amazing ecosystem out there, and there's no doubt that water connects people in a way that no other medium does.
Centerville cares, and me living here next to Hyca Bay isn't going to affect any policy changes within the DNR or legislature. Legislature is where the laws have to be made. The DNR is the agency that's responsible for enforcing those laws and issuing the permits. After doing all these talks with Joe and DNR and Department of Agriculture and Trout Unlimited and all these other groups, it's clear that we got to band together, as many of these groups as we can, into a single big lobby, if you want to call it that, and go to Madison if we got to, and stand on the front steps of the Capitol if we have to, and say, look, this problem needs to be addressed. That's, in my opinion, the only way that we're going to get some action to proceed on this issue.